Something inside you refused to let this go, didn't it? No matter how hard you tried to move on, it kept pulling you back. What if that feeling isn't confusion, but recognition? Something deeper than logic can explain. What if the silence, the distance, even the pain, were never signs of an ending, but part of something unfolding behind the scenes? Before you doubt it again, listen closely, because what you're about to understand might change the way you see this connection forever. Your being here isn't random. Something inside you brought you to this moment. Trust that quiet pull that keeps guiding you to search, to understand, to find meaning. This didn't reach you by mistake. Deep down, you've been looking for clarity, maybe for a long time. You've been waiting for a sign, something that finally settles the noise inside you. You've carried these feelings quietly, keeping them to yourself because you feared being misunderstood. You didn't want to hear that you're imagining things or reading too much into it. But even in silence, that inner voice never stopped. It stayed with you in the early hours and in the stillness of night. It kept calling your attention, even when you tried to ignore it or distract yourself. This feeling didn't come from nowhere. It isn't something you forced or created. It's real, trying to rise to the surface. And what if, instead of being something heavy, it's actually a message, a signal from within, pointing you towards something true? Maybe it hasn't faded because it's not just desire or wishful thinking. Maybe it comes from a deeper part of you, one that has always known what your mind is only beginning to understand. Right now, there's an awareness within you that wants to confirm something you've felt but hesitated to accept. Fear, past pain, and caution made you doubt it. You told yourself it was too intense, too fast, too much to be real. Yet no matter how much you tried to suppress it, it kept returning. There's a reason for that. You're being guided to understand why this connection feels so strong, why it feels different from anything else, why even distance doesn't make it feel empty, but instead filled with meaning. Your intuition hasn't gone quiet, even when your mind tries to argue against it. There's a reason you can't just let this go. Your heart responds before your thoughts can catch up. What you're experiencing isn't random. It's recognition on a deeper level, something beyond logic, beyond explanation. It touches a part of you that feels familiar, even if you can't fully put it into words. You've tried to step away from it, to distract yourself, to make sense of it logically, but the more you resist it, the stronger it seems to become. That's because what comes from your core can't simply be silenced by overthinking. There's something pulling you back again and again to the same realization that this person didn't enter your life by accident. And no, you're not losing your mind. You're not making things up. What you feel is coming from a place within you that speaks in a different language than logic. When you stop trying to analyze everything and begin to listen more deeply, you start to see that this isn't imagination. It's truth revealing itself. But your mind keeps asking the same question: is this real love or just attachment? That doubt comes from a place that wants to protect you. It remembers past hurt and tries to keep you safe through hesitation and fear. Still, real connections carry signs that feel different. They don't come from emptiness. They come from something steady and genuine. One of those signs is a sense of calm. Even when there's distance, you don't feel abandoned or anxious in the same way. There's a quiet steadiness, a feeling that the connection itself isn't threatened by space or silence. It's not about what's happening externally, but what you feel internally. A kind of peace that doesn't need constant reassurance. Another sign is how this connection has changed you. It has awakened parts of you that were hidden or untouched before. It pushes you to grow, to look at yourself more deeply, to evolve. Not because you're trying to impress someone, but because something inside you is being activated. It feels like a mirror reflecting your potential back to you. And then there's the intensity. It surprises you. It doesn't fade with time or distraction. You've tried to push it away, to shrink it, to explain it, but it stays. That's what makes it different from simple dependency or fear of being alone. Those things weaken over time. This doesn't. It remains steady and present, even when everything else suggests it shouldn't. What you feel is real. It wasn't imagined. It entered your life for a reason, not to break you, but to transform you. And that transformation is still unfolding. So it's natural to wonder why there's distance, why silence replaced something that once felt alive, why something that felt so certain now feels unclear. These questions weigh heavily, but there's something important to understand. What is truly meant for you doesn't disappear because of time, silence, or fear. Distance doesn't erase what has been deeply planted within you. Whatever this is, whatever it's meant to become, will find its way. Even when everything on the surface looks blocked, when the silence feels too wide and the distance too heavy, some connections simply don't break. No matter how much either of you tries to move on, there are bonds the mind tries to close, but something deeper refuses to let them end. Sometimes these connections don't disappear, they pause. They step back so both people can grow, heal, and become strong enough to hold what they were given. This person has a real place in your life story, not just because of how you feel, but because something greater is at work beneath everything you can see. There is a deeper plan unfolding quietly, shaping both of you. This connection exists for a reason: to open your heart, to expand your awareness, and to awaken something within both of you at the right time. Nothing about meeting them was random. Nothing about what you felt happened by accident. Even when your mind tries to convince you it was all in your head or just a closed chapter, there's a part of you that knows that isn't true. Deep down, you feel that this story hasn't reached its end yet. That's because it hasn't. What you're going through isn't a final goodbye. It's a pause. A hidden phase where things are shifting behind the scenes. The confusion, the ache, the distance, they aren't signs that everything is falling apart. They're signs that something is being rebuilt in a different way. Both of you needed time. Time to grow, to face your own patterns, to release the parts of yourselves that could have damaged this connection if things had continued too soon. A bond this strong isn't meant to be carried by people who aren't ready for it yet. That's why separation sometimes becomes part of the process, not as an ending, but as a way to create clarity, strength, and alignment. You've changed. They've changed too. What feels like an impossible distance right now is, on a deeper level, just space for growth. What you see as delay, something greater sees as preparation. There's a bigger picture already formed, a point where both of you meet again with clarity, without fear, without confusion holding you back. Even if you can't see that outcome yet, it exists beyond what your current perspective allows. And this message is here to keep you from making a mistake, walking away from something real because it feels uncertain, or confusing truth with illusion. This connection isn't here to hurt you. It isn't fake. And it isn't meant to break you. It's here to stretch you, to teach you, to reshape you into someone stronger and more aware. Real connections like this don't just disappear. They evolve. They deepen. The confusion you feel doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It's part of waking up. It's the tension between what your mind fears and what your intuition already understands. To really understand what's happening, you have to see the purpose of this quiet phase. This distance isn't emptiness, it's alignment. It's a time where things are being rearranged, where wounds are being healed, where patterns are being cleared, so that what exists between you can stand on something stronger. Imagine two people meant to be together meeting before they are ready. The intensity would overwhelm them. The connection would become unstable, driven more by unresolved pain than by love. Instead of healing, it would turn into conflict. That's why this pause exists. Not to end things, but to protect them. It's like a reset, giving both of you space to return to yourselves before coming back to each other in a healthier way. What feels like being left behind is actually a step back taken for a deeper reason. It's a time where both of you are on separate paths, not to forget each other, but to become more complete on your own. It's as if, on a deeper level, there was an agreement to step apart until both of you were ready to carry the weight of this connection without breaking under it. This phase is helping you release old wounds, old habits, and emotional patterns that would block love from flowing freely. It's not punishment, it's preparation. You're being guided to build a stronger relationship with yourself. Because if your sense of wholeness depended only on them, the connection would eventually turn into fear, attachment, and pressure. That's not what this is meant to be. You're being pushed to face your fears, fear of abandonment, fear of loneliness, fear of not being enough. As long as those fears stay unhealed, they shape your experiences. This time is here to break that cycle. It's like a quiet message telling you to fill your own emptiness first, to find stability within yourself. Only then can this connection return in its highest form. And as you begin to grow into that version of yourself, something shifts. The energy between you changes. It becomes clearer, stronger, more aligned. You're not stuck or waiting. You're being prepared. And this process isn't happening only on your side. Even if you can't see it, even if their silence feels like nothing, they are going through their own transformation too. Their journey may look different. While you are searching for answers, they might be avoiding them. While you're learning to trust, they might still be caught in fear. But the same force shaping you is shaping them as well. This distance isn't one-sided, it's part of a shared process. What feels like indifference from them isn't peace, it's struggle. What looks like detachment is often avoidance. They've tried to convince themselves that what they felt wasn't real, or that it didn't matter. They've created stories to protect themselves to make it easier to move on. But something deeper doesn't allow those stories to fully settle. Over time, the distractions they relied on stop working. The comfort they used to hide behind starts to fade. Silence becomes louder. Memories become harder to ignore. Even if they don't show it, their inner world is shifting. They're being faced with thoughts they can't easily push away, emotions they can't fully explain, and a connection they can't control. The distance they created to feel safe becomes the space where everything they tried to avoid starts echoing back at them. Their defenses, built from past hurt and fear, try to keep them guarded. They're afraid of stepping into something they can't predict. But real connections don't wait for certainty. They ask for honesty, and that's what challenges them the most. So they build walls, and life slowly begins to break those walls down. Not all at once, but piece by piece. The things that once distracted them lose their effect. The people or routines that once brought comfort no longer feel the same. And in quiet, unexpected moments, your presence returns to their thoughts without warning. What they feel for you isn't just longing, it's recognition. It doesn't feel like a fantasy to them anymore. It feels real in a way they can't explain. The universe keeps reaching them in subtle but undeniable ways. A dream that feels too vivid to ignore, a song that plays at the exact moment you cross their mind, a sudden thought of you that comes out of nowhere, or a feeling that shifts without warning. They try to stay logical, to make sense of it, but their intuition keeps interrupting with your presence. This isn't obsession, it's alignment. On a deeper level, they know what their mind is still trying to deny. Their silence isn't because they've forgotten you, it's because they remember too deeply. They've gone quiet because the defenses they built are starting to weaken. The emotions they tried to bury have taken root in a way they can no longer escape. That silence you see is not peace for them. It's where their inner conflict is happening. It's where everything they avoided is now coming to the surface. This phase, as difficult as it is necessary. Without it, they would return unchanged. Without it, the same fears and patterns would repeat. Right now, they are being reshaped from the inside. It may not look like it from the outside, but internally things are shifting. Their fears are being exposed. Their pride is slowly breaking down. The habits and walls they once relied on are being stripped away. Just like you've been growing, they are going through their own transformation too, not in an easy way, but in a real and honest one. Both of you are standing close to a turning point, a moment where resistance begins to fall, where confusion starts giving way to clarity, and where fear slowly loses its control. This shift isn't about how much time has passed. It's about readiness. It's about both of you reaching a place where truth matters more than fear. They are moving toward a point where living without you becomes more painful than facing what they feel. And when they do come forward, it won't be impulsive or uncertain. It won't come from loneliness or temporary emotion. It will come from surrender, from finally letting go of the need to control or deny what exists. When that moment arrives, their actions will carry weight. There will be honesty in their words, humility in their approach, and a willingness to admit what they once avoided. It will be a genuine shift, not a passing feeling. They will no longer be able to run from what they know inside. As this turning point gets closer, your focus is brought back to yourself. Take a moment and reflect. What signs have been showing up again and again for you? Maybe it's a dream that keeps repeating, a number that appears too often to ignore, a memory that suddenly feels vivid, or a song that plays at just the right time. These are not coincidences. They are signals. They are ways of guiding you toward clarity. The signs that bring a sense of calm are coming from truth. The ones that bring fear usually come from the mind trying to protect itself. Deep down, you already know the difference. You are not imagining this. You are not holding on without reason. What you feel is real, and it is moving on both sides. Things are shifting, emotions are rising again, clarity is forming. Everything is slowly aligning toward a moment that will change things. This process you've been going through, the distance, the silence, the growth, all of it has been leading somewhere. There is a point where everything begins to come together, where what once felt uncertain becomes clear. This won't be something subtle or confusing. It will be direct and undeniable. When that moment comes, it won't feel like guessing. You won't have to question it. It will be obvious. The effort, the gesture, the communication, it will come from a place that is real and grounded, not from convenience, not from habit, but from truth. They will reach a point where they can no longer avoid what they feel, where walking away becomes harder than facing it. And when they return, it will come with sincerity, openness, and a level of clarity you may not have seen from them before. But timing like this doesn't happen when you're desperate for it. It happens when both of you are truly ready to hold it. The universe doesn't bring two people together to fix each other's wounds. It brings them together when they've learned how to stand on their own. That's why this time apart was needed. That's why you were pushed to grow, not for them, but for yourself. Now, your role is to prepare to receive, not by waiting anxiously, but by becoming aligned with what you want. Being ready doesn't mean holding on tightly or expecting a specific outcome. It means letting go of control. It means trusting that what belongs to you will come without force. Release the need to script how things should happen. Also, let go of any resentment you might still be carrying. Holding on to past hurt only blocks what is trying to come in. Forgiveness isn't about saying everything was okay. It's about freeing yourself from that weight. Their actions, their distance, all of it played a role in shaping who you've become. Stay grounded in yourself. As things begin to shift, you may feel excitement building, but don't lose the calm you've created within. That peace is what will support this connection when it returns. Understand this clearly. You're not just being prepared for them. You're being prepared for the version of life you once wanted but weren't ready to hold. Your growth is the foundation that will keep things stable this time. The real gift here isn't just their return. It's who you've become through all of this. Your strength, your clarity, your self-respect, these are what will hold everything together moving forward. And as everything moves closer to that moment, remember that your energy plays a role. When you are calm, you attract. When you trust without desperation, you align. When you release fear, you open space for something real to enter. At the same time, they are changing too. Their fears are being challenged. The walls they built are weakening. Avoidance is becoming harder for them to maintain. The connection is becoming more present in their awareness. This is how things align, not by forcing two people together, but by growing them individually until they naturally come back into sync. The distance was never meant to end things. It was meant to refine them. Now, as this turning point approaches, your only task is to be ready within yourself. Because when it happens, it won't be confusing or uncertain. It will be clear. What once felt distant will begin to come closer. What once felt unclear will start to make sense. What you felt inside will begin to show up in your reality. You were never chasing something unreal. You were following something your inner self already understood, and they feel that pull too, even if they struggled to accept it. This connection was never meant to stay in confusion. It was meant to grow beyond fear and become something stronger, something built on awareness and truth. They are waking up just as you have. Their resistance is fading. Their heart is opening. They are being guided back, not by impulse, but by something deeper. They're beginning to understand that what they felt wasn't something to fear, but something real, something meaningful, something worth facing. And as everything comes together, there will be a moment where they step forward, not out of uncertainty, but with clarity, not out of fear, but with honesty. Their words will carry truth. Their actions will reflect real change. And the connection will feel different this time. Stronger, calmer, more grounded. This won't be about two people trying to fix each other. It will be about two whole individuals choosing each other. So take a breath. Trust the process. You've done the work. You've grown through the hardest parts. You've become stronger than you were before. This isn't the end of your story. It's the unfolding of something deeper. There's no rush in what's meant for you. No confusion in what's real. Everything is moving exactly as it needs to. You're supported in ways you may not even see, guided in ways you may not fully understand yet. But nothing about this path is random. And in the end, the greatest gift won't just be coming back together, it will be the person you've become along the way. What you're describing feels powerful, but it's worth grounding it a bit so it actually serves you instead of trapping you. Intense emotional bonds can feel destined or deeply meaningful, especially when there's distance, silence, or unfinished closure. The human mind is wired to search for patterns and meaning, so when someone impacts you strongly, your thoughts keep circling back, trying to resolve what's incomplete. That doesn't automatically mean the connection is mutual, spiritual, or guaranteed to come back. Sometimes what feels like a soul pull is actually a mix of emotional attachment, idealization, and the brain holding on to uncertainty. Silence and distance tend to amplify feelings rather than clarify them, which is why everything can feel even deeper over time. At the same time, there is something real underneath all of this. Not necessarily destiny in a mystical sense, but the fact that certain people trigger growth in you. They bring up parts of yourself you didn't see before, push you to reflect, and sometimes force you to become stronger or more self-aware. That's where the true value is. The connection becomes meaningful not because it must lead to reunion, but because of how it changes you. It's important to separate two things: the feeling you have and the story you're building around it. The feeling can be genuine, intense, and important. But the story that this must come back, or this is meant to be no matter what, can sometimes keep you stuck waiting instead of moving forward. Real alignment in life doesn't require guessing, decoding signs, or enduring long periods of confusion. When something is truly mutual and ready, it becomes clear through consistent actions, not just internal feelings. Growth in this situation means shifting your focus slightly. Instead of asking, "Will they come back?" or "Is this destined?" a more useful question is, "What has this experience revealed about me?" Maybe it showed your capacity to feel deeply, or highlighted fears of loss, or made you realize what kind of connection you truly want. That insight is something you can carry into your life regardless of what happens with that person. There's also a practical side to this that shouldn't be ignored. People make choices. If someone is silent, distant, or absent, that is a form of communication in itself. It doesn't always mean they're secretly struggling or being guided back. Sometimes it simply means they are not choosing the connection right now. And your life shouldn't be paused waiting for someone who isn't actively showing up. The healthiest place to land is somewhere balanced. You don't have to deny what you feel or label it as just imagination. But you also don't want to give it so much power that it controls your direction. You can respect the experience, learn from it, and still stay open to new possibilities, including connections that show up clearly and consistently. What often happens is that when you genuinely focus on your own growth, your emotional intensity settles into clarity. You stop needing answers from the other person because you've already understood what you needed from the experience. And ironically, that's also the only state where any kind of reconnection, if it ever happens, would be healthy rather than driven by attachment. So instead of seeing this as something you have to wait for, it's more useful to see it as something that already did its job by changing you. Whether that person comes back or not becomes secondary. What matters is that you don't lose yourself in the process of holding on to them. The part that makes this experience so intense is not just the other person, it's the way uncertainty interacts with your emotions. When something is unfinished or unclear, your mind keeps trying to complete the story. That's why you replay moments, search for meaning, and feel like there must be something deeper going on. Clarity usually calms feelings, but ambiguity fuels them. There's also a tendency to fill in the gaps with the best possible version of the other person. When they're not present, your mind isn't dealing with their real, everyday behavior anymore, it's dealing with an idea of them. That idea can become more powerful than reality because it isn't limited by flaws, timing, or inconsistency. Over time, that can make the connection feel even more special than it actually was in practice. Another thing happening beneath the surface is emotional imprinting. When someone enters your life at a moment when you're open, vulnerable, or searching for something, the impact is stronger. It's not random, but it's also not necessarily proof of a lifelong or destined bond. It simply means the timing made the experience hit deeper. You might also notice that the strongest pull isn't constant. It comes in waves. Some days you feel calm and detached, and other days the thoughts come back strongly. That's a sign that your system is processing, not that the connection is actively calling you. Emotions move like that when something meaningful hasn't fully settled yet. There's an important distinction between intuition and emotional urgency. Intuition tends to feel calm, steady, and clear, even if it's quiet. Emotional urgency feels restless, repetitive, and pressing, like you need an answer right now. A lot of what people interpret as signs is actually the mind staying activated, noticing patterns because it's already focused on that person. That doesn't make your experience fake, it just means it's coming from your internal state rather than something external guiding events, and that's actually empowering because it means you're not dependent on something outside of you to resolve it. One of the most useful shifts you can make is to bring things back to what is observable, Not what you feel, not what you sense, but what is actually happening. Are they reaching out? Are they making effort? Are they showing consistency? If the answer is no, then regardless of how strong the connection feels, it's not active in reality right now. This was never just about them returning, it was about who you became along the way. Every moment of silence, every doubt, every lesson was shaping you into someone stronger, clearer, and whole. What is truly meant for you doesn't get lost. It finds its way back when you're ready to receive it without fear. So trust this journey, trust your growth, and trust that what's real will meet you at the right time. Because this isn't where your story ends, it's where everything finally begins.